Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to the channel. Remember, this channel is really a discussion piece. So, in the comments below, let's hear your thoughts surrounding the topic at hand today, which is should you use your infinite banking policy to finance everything? So, if you watch a lot of the die-hard, and by the way, I should put a disclaimer out there: I don't sell insurance products. I am not an infinite banking authorized practitioner, teacher, whatever their authorization program is. I do know several authorized IBC insurance salespeople, I guess, um, and but I'm not one of them. Just to put that out there, okay? And the question becomes: is should you use your policy for everything? If you listen to the diehard infinite banking people, what they're recommending, okay, is that when you receive your money, you're going to flow it through your infinite banking policy. Okay. And then ultimately, you are going to then spend your money in whichever way that you want to spend it. So you're going to essentially use the loan function of either a leveraged loan with a third party lender or through an infinite banking policy loan. Okay. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to spend all of the money as it relates to whatever you need to spend it on. And then ultimately, because um, in the infinite banking world, they believe that you finance everything, whether you finance it through lost opportunity cost through a bank or through your own bank, you're financing it no matter what. Okay. And then, of course, some of the spend that you're going to do and the money you receive is going to be to pay back this loan itself over time. Okay. Which now means you have this repeating cycle where as you pay down the loan, you can then borrow more to spend more and blah, 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 blah. Okay. But my challenge with this is that sometimes it doesn't make sense. Now, I have done another video on when it makes sense and when you can use a higher interest rate loan to pay off a lower interest rate debt. And in that example, I talked about how you can go ahead and pay off a car or buy a car with a more expensive loan than you can finance it with. And in this example, at the end of the day, if you had to choose between financing the car exclusively or financing the car through an IBC policy, you would typically be better off using the infinite banking policy, and that's because of the compounding nature of interest that occurs. Now, it was pointed out in a comment, and rightfully so, that really sometimes it doesn't make sense from a dollars and cents perspective to actually go ahead and finance everything. So in the example, I said, I believe the interest rate I used in the infinite banking was 6.2%. All right. This would be the loan rate. Okay. And I compared it to not taking a 2.99% interest car loan rate. Now, the question is in my life, what would I do? Would I finance through my IBC policy or would I go take the car loan interest rate? Both of these examples assumes that you already have an infinite banking policy set up, which typically compounds in Canada at 3 to 4%, tax-free, typically speaking. So this is increasing by 3.4%. This is costing you 2.99%, and this is costing you 6.29%. Okay. Now, the reality behind it is, in a perfect world, you would get this and leave your infinite banking policy alone. Now, there's a couple considerations you have to go. So first of all, your cost between the infinite banking policy loan and your car loan, the cost is clearly less in your car loan interest rate of 2.99%. But there are some advantages to using your infinite banking policy loan. So for example, it doesn't show up on your credit bureaus. Okay. So that's something that's very important. There are no payment terms, which means that if you miss a payment, can't make a payment, it can be very, very advantageous. Okay. And obviously the negatives on this side are, I guess, the positives on this side, because ultimately having something report to your bureau is a good thing. Okay. Structured payments are a function of the loan, and ultimately it reports to your bureaus, and payments are a function of reporting to your credit bureau. So that's okay as well. Now there's a kind of a mitigation to everything, right? Because ultimately, if you didn't want something to show up on your bureau and you had an infinite banking policy, well, you could go and pay it off at any point in time. right? So long story short, if you had to choose, what would you do? I don't believe that you should finance everything. What I believe is that if, and it's a big if, you can get terms um, that are better than your IBC rate, you will most likely be better off taking those terms and keeping your IBC policy unencumbered for that amount of money, so that you can basically maintain complete control of what you're doing. The last thing you want to do is, let's go for an example here. Let's say you've got $25,000 available inside of your IBC policy that you can borrow against. You want to go buy a $20,000 car. What I recommend you do is essentially go get this car loan for $20,000. Okay. Um, and keep $20,000 here available just in case you have to deal with this car loan. Okay. What will end up happening, and a lot of people will probably succumb to this because remember, behavior is more important than the actual math, is that people say, oh, I've got 25 grand here. I'm going to go now, say, invest this $25,000 or do something with it, spend it, I should say, and not necessarily have it available in case something happens here. Now, a lot of people would disagree with me here. I'm obviously a little bit more conservative as it relates to how things are actually going along financially, but I do think that you are better off being conservative and then conservatively aggressive than you are taking big risks. So I hope that helps, and I hope that helps answer the question: is, should you use your infinite banking policy to finance everything? I don't believe so. It really depends on the terms that you're offered on the other side. But do remember, by doing so, you do lose a little bit of control. Not a crazy amount, but a little bit, and that a little bit might be important to you. So again, if you agree with me, disagree with me, put it in the comments below. Conversation, we can have it. It will be super fun. Otherwise, like the video, and please subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing more content like this. Thank you.